Welcome to The Third Side with your host, John and Stacey Edwards from thirdsideparanormal.com. Hello and welcome to The Third Side. I'm your host, John Edwards, and I'm joined as always by my lovely wife, Stacey.
Hello.
And today is going to be a terrible show. You need to go ahead and turn it off now. And no, it's going to be really good.
Low expectations. That's what we like. Low expectations.
We figure if we start off
Pleasantly
with
surprised.
the truth, no, we've had a good run of shows going here. You know, it's been, Stacey's been witty. It's
surprisingly.
Surprisingly witty. And that's what we'd say like on the movie trailer. It'd be like surprisingly witty. Clever enough. It'll do.
You won't fall asleep.
As always, thirdsideparanormal.com is your destination for anything rainbow related. I know I used the rainbows last week. Did you add any to the website?
No, not yet.
Oh,
There's not really any spot for just a smiling rainbow with devil horns.
Well, if you have
that's dancing.
If you have a ticket to heaven or would like one, thirdsideparanormal.com is the place you won't get it. But I do know a guy named Hector or Tito down behind a KFC somewhere, and he is
Jesus.
Yeah, he is handing out those wood and golden tickets. If you don't know, go back to last week's episode and just watch. Just watch. Facebook.com/thirdside. That's where you can go get all the up to the minute, up to the second paranormal news from throughout our little spectrum of whistleblowers that we have throughout the planet that let us know whenever something crazy is going on, because the cray-cray comes right here, baby. They let us know all of it.
I think the cray-cray starts right there. That's what you mean.
Yeah. Twitter, @3sidepara. That's the number 3. Side para. I'm not going to spell out the rest of it, because if you don't know that, I don't want you on my Twitter. If you want to subscribe, if you're watching on YouTube right now, there's a little button that says subscribe. I need you to hit that button now. You can come back if it takes you somewhere, some like Easter egg, and it takes you somewhere weird, like a crack cocaine planet.
They won't come back.
They won't come back, ever. iTunes, leave a review. If you're listening and you listen every week and you've listened since back in the days of Haunted South and you've not left a review, we're going to use our prism to find you, and we're going to come to your house, and we're
you
going
don't even
to
have to
you.
write a review. You can just click the little stars.
Yeah, just click the stars.
Like that one all the way over on the right,
and
so they all light up.
And to annoy me, like Justin, our producer, does, send a thumbs up. Just put a thumbs up. Let me tell you.
John loves the thumbs up.
Let me tell you a funny story. This is a funny story.
Funny story.
Non-scripted funny story. So Justin knows I hate the thumbs up, because for me it's kind of like Stacey has programmed into her iPad, ILY. All she has to do is type that, and it tells me I love you on a text message. Okay,
it's time-saving.
I just found this information out, and it really kind of bothers me. Because
I tell you I love you all the time.
Yeah, but you have to have the effort to type I love you.
A shortcut I love you doesn't
Anyway, I hate thumbs up. Now, this doesn't mean that I want to be inundated with thumbs up from throughout the paranormal community.
Yes, he does.
No, it does not. But especially now that they can make it bigger. It's
the
like
big thumbs up.
It's like the biggest rib ever.
Super like.
So, on purpose, because Justin always thumbs me up. Wow.
It's not really a sentence you want to say.
No,
anyway,
it's not. But on purpose, I sent him a text message, which in these days is almost like snail mail. But, because I was like, there's no way he could send me a thumbs up. Do you know what he did?
Did he paste a picture of a thumbs up?
No, it's even better than that.
What did he do?
So I tell him something about the show. And he texts me back, thumbs up. Yeah, and this is what I deal with. It's not bad enough. It's not bad enough. Anyway, like we said, thirdsideparanormal.com. And speaking of coolness and cray-cray, it's now time for some paranormal news.
It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact.
Okay, so you ready for some news?
I am ready.
All right, so I'm going to start off with...
Yeah.
Fancy title.
That's right.
Okay, anyway, I'm going to start off with a story about a movie that we're super excited about. It's the remake of Poltergeist.
Oh, God.
And, of course, we're super excited about this because we love
I haven't been this
Poltergeist.
excited since The Conjuring.
Isn't it Sam Raimi doing this?
It is.
Oh, love Sam.
No, is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know. I thought it was.
No.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure. You can't throw that kind of stuff out.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
He's doing something.
I'm sure it was a producer that slept with a director that one time worked with an assistant grip.
Well, this is
that did Evil Dead.
This article is like an interview with the director. I don't even know how to say his name, Gil Kenan.
Right.
I was going to say Jill, but I don't think that would be correct.
I thought you were getting like some kind of weird
tick.
Yeah, some kind of tick.
Anyway.
Kind of like they spell jail in Australia.
So you know
weird?
about
With the G?
Yeah, it's weird.
Gil.
Anyway.
Where you been? Spending on a Gil.
You heard about the curse, the poltergeist curse from the first movie. From the first movie, where some of the actors died.
There's evil
early
in this house. Yeah, I've heard about the curse.
And supposedly, just to touch on that for a second, supposedly that the scene in the first movie where she falls in the pool and all the skeletons pop up,
right?
Supposedly those were real skeletons, and that's sort of what the whole thing stems from.
That was one of the first times I ever got turned on that I can remember.
The woman in the muddy water with the skeletons?
When she was getting thrown around that room.
Oh.
She was going through this
weird.
She was going through this unbelievable terror, but you could see her panties the whole time.
And how old were you?
Too young that I should have been turned on. But I remember being. But I mean, horror movies. That was the thing when I was little. Like if you wanted to see some boobs, but you didn't. I mean, you couldn't just go to the video store and go, "Hey, Mom, can I have this?" You know, with the
boobs.
Yeah, just a sex movie. That's how. I mean, that's why you get Sleepaway Camp, Friday the 13th. I mean, it was the little 2-minute sex scenes.
I didn't watch scary movies when I was a kid.
You didn't?
No, I was too scared, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. I love scary movies now, but when I was younger, I wouldn't. I was the hands over the eyes person.
I was the kid that the other kids stayed at his house because he would have the whole night worth of scary movies ready. Yeah, that was me.
I wouldn't even have gone.
Oh, man, I loved it. I loved it.
It's terrible. Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, the remake.
Does it really matter?
Poltergeist. First story, which is way off base. I told you it was going to be
terrible at the first of the show.
Yes, there was.
It's your own fault.
There was a disclaimer. Okay, so anyway, so he was doing one of those Reddit's Ask Me Anything sessions, and people were asking him questions. They asked him about the curse from the first movie, and they wanted to know if maybe that carried over to this movie. And so he was explaining that when he was looking for location for the house for this remake, that he actually found this place where it was really strange. Like it's a plot of land, and there's a lot of houses around it, but there's no house.
That is really strange.
Shut up, I'm not done. This plot of land.
It's a subdivision.
And he said that they found out that there was a lot of equipment failure on this particular plot of land, just on this one plot. Like not like lights that worked everywhere else. Once you got there, they would blow. Sounds familiar.
Did they film it here?
Yeah, no. But he chose that particular plot of land because for that reason. And they even used drones to fly over and use their GPS to kind of look at the field, and the GPS wouldn't work when it was flying over this particular plot of land. So there's something about this plot of land.
Or they use Verizon.
Or something. I don't know. There was no signal there. And he actually didn't research what the land used to be. He didn't want to know. He just wanted to use it because it was weird. You know, because of all the weird things that happened.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Right.
All right. If the first movie, which you should be fully aware, if you're producing or directing a movie, you're probably going to at least Google the previous movie, right? And the curses and what have you.
Right.
Why in God's name would anybody take on this project and then like have a plot of land that they don't do the research on when, you know, all this
That
stuff.
was, yeah. I don't know. But that's not even the only thing.
Are you sure they're not just...
It could be a publicity thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a maybe. But anyway, that's not the only. He also said that the house that they rented during filming was actually haunted by a female spirit dressed in black, and that when they would film at the house and he would leave to go back to where he was staying during filming, that she would follow him back and forth. But she didn't follow him home after they were done, but that he experienced that during the filming. So publicity stunt, maybe.
Probably.
Just to drum up, like they really needed to drum up business for the movie.
Did anybody die?
Not yet, but doesn't that happen after?
I don't know. No, I want them to die now. Like, I want there to be
That's nice.
Well, no, I mean, not anybody we know, but just some random person that, I mean, they moved to L.A.
It's like a grip or something?
You got 75% chance of overdosing just from moving there, I mean, there's like 10% you're going to snort coke off a hooker's titty, I
think we established that was just you.
That was just me.
Yeah, I think that was established a few shows ago. Anyway.
Continue.
Anyway, interesting. I can't wait to see the movie.
You give me a shot collar.
I don't know when it's coming out.
Under the table. And I'll just...
It'll just twitch funny every time
I'll just come back.
Step on it.
That's pretty cool. If the curse, we know that curses are true, and curses are real, and everybody listening and watching, please heed the curses. When the old man says, don't go over there to that island fishing unless you throw some tobacco and dirty drawers down. If he says that, go find some tobacco and find some dirty drawers, okay? Because if you don't, you're going to fall in the water and drown and die. I don't care. The curses are real. And listen to the old people, because they know. Because more than likely their cousin didn't, throw the dirty drawers down. If I get lucky enough to curse the land, that's totally going to be what you have to offer. It's going to be, I want some skid marks. They'll call me skid marks. That'll be the ghost name. And you have to throw.
Well, at least you have your whole afterlife planned.
I do, and I'll be perfectly happy with a quaint little double wide. I just want to haunt a double wide. Wouldn't that be cool?
No, I don't know. I don't know that would be cool. You don't want to haunt a castle or a...
No, I want to haunt something where people rent. So they can come in and always have like that youthful exuberance.
Something unassuming that they would never guess had a spirit.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I wanna haunt mirrors.
You are a creepy woman. You are a scary woman.
People look at the mirror, I can be like,
you're just wrong. No, you're just wrong.
Well, you said you wanted skid marks. I could haunt a mirror in your haunted place.
It's a deal.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I guess we should move on to the next story, probably. Okay, so this next story is one that we shared on the third side, and it was actually I didn't find the story. It was something that Giorgio Tsoukalos posted, and I happened to see it. But it's the one about the mysterious radio bursts coming from space, and they can't really figure out. And of course, this article is all about aliens because of where we found the story. But I thought it was interesting because it seems like they've been getting these signals for the past 8 years, and they don't know what they are or where they're coming from, whether they're something that we're doing accidentally or if they're actually just coming from way out in space. But they found a very...
It'd be weird if it was like an alien indie band, wouldn't it?
Well...
like it's just like...
Well, they
think it's some great thing, and when we finally meet them, we're going to be like, what was the signal? And they'll be like, oh...
we were practicing.
This is awkward. Go ahead.
Well, a new study that they've been doing has been showing that all of these signals have like the same pattern that's really hard to explain. It's like a mathematical thing. And they're all very similar. Like I read one article on this, not this particular article, and it was very scientific, and I fell asleep like a couple paragraphs in. Yeah, it was awful. It was
Somebody
awful.
call John Tenney. We're going to have you read it, John.
But
paraphrase it.
They don't really know what it is, but it was interesting that they did find this similarity, this mathematical similarity with all the bursts, and they really don't know where they're coming from. They really don't.
Space.
So it could be.
I solved it.
There you go. John wins. We'll give him the blue ribbon.
Did I get a prize?
But it's something that, of course, SETI's like, oh, it could be alien signals, I have to mention
because SETI is false.
Yes, well.
SETI is false.
Well, I don't know, but it's interesting, and it's definitely something they're still going to study, and I'm going to kind of try and watch and see if anything comes out of it.
I mean, there's something coming from space, and NASA just said, 10 to 20 years, we're going to have definitive proof of alien life. So,
well, I think it's funny that they've been getting these signals for the past 8 years, and I've not heard about this. Have you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not on the call list.
Well,
but,
true.
No, I haven't heard anything about it. Normally, when you do see a special on SETI, they sit there and they talk about the one time, in 1979.
Yeah, I think
the
so.
WOW.
The WOW signal.
Yeah,
they
the
talk
WOW
about that
signal.
a lot.
They talk about that, and then they show some bored guy sitting in the room.
I think we can classify the WOW signal right along with the Roswell thing. Is that what they look like in the same? If you're listening on iTunes right now, you cannot see what John's doing, but it's hilarious.
I'm listening for aliens. I'm watching the radio sounds. I can watch them. It's a little line. We get an alien, it's going to go bleep.
Anyway.
It has to be a terrible job.
It must be. I don't know.
I think they donate their time, too.
Ew.
Yeah,
do they?
Yeah. I think it's pro bono, alien watching.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Wouldn't do it.
Maybe that's why they call it the WOW signal. Because they're like, wow, we got something.
It might be. they might have left skid marks. Can you imagine? Those guys, they're just hitting the bong and having sex. I mean, they are. That's all they do in there.
So essentially,
there's probably been like a whole the alien Bible.
I was going to say that we've probably been contacted several.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have figured out a way to like send signals that make shapes and stuff, just to show.
And we just not
and
seen
you got Bob and Frank back there giving it the dirt road. I mean, it's happening because you're in a room real tight together.
Oh, wow.
It gets kind of boring and yeah. They're totally smoking. You have to smoke weed to sit and watch that all the time.
I think we should move on.
Because it would make it interesting. I mean, if you were high.
I'm stepping on your shot collar.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you were high, it'd be like, oh, hey.
You'd be seeing signals all over the place.
Every third time, it almost moves, but it don't. It don't. It does right here, though.
You sound like you know what it's like to be high.
No. Mm-mm. I didn't inhale.
Of course not.
And I did not have sexual relations with that intern. Not at all.
That's not what he says.
It's a trusting face. I trust you when I tell you stuff, and you just have to throw it all out there.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
It's all right.
Let's move on. Okay.
I'm the curious part of that statement.
The next story, we're moving on. The next story is actually a video. It's a video. And it's came from Kazakhstan, and it's something that was uploaded.
I'm sorry.
But
normally you have to worry about me offending who we're talking about. Like the Australians, I have to send them apologies. And I do talk to the guy now, in Australia, the Brazilians, the Venezuelans.
Can I ask you a question?
Who all have I not? Like the Venezuelans, like with the hot oil Venezuelan wax.
I think it was wood oil.
Wood
oil
on the floor that we make out of Venezuelans.
Yes. Anyway.
Yeah.
Do you apologize to that one Australian friend you have and think that makes up for insulting?
Well, he's the representative.
I see. Okay.
You're the representative of your country. It's your job to go out and tell them that I don't mean what I say.
Okay.
And not to send me those deadly snakes.
We need a representative from Brazil too.
The thing about it, they're only going to stay mad so long. I mean, they're eventually going to go outside and get bit by, Australian house cat. Ready. Meow. I mean, everything's deadly. So, but what? Kazakhstan? Kazakhstan.
Anyway, in the sky over the weekend, there was a mysterious black ring.
I don't have to worry about anybody being mad at me from Kazakhstan.
I guess not.
They don't have internet.
And I know that I don't know if they do or not.
They don't. I mean, if they do, it's dial-up.
Hopefully Justin's showing the video right now. It's a long video, so we have time.
All right, tell me about it. Sorry.
It's a mysterious black ring that showed up in the sky, stayed for about 15 minutes. It's just a big circle, and nobody knows what it was.
Oh, so it's not like, it wasn't like a black ring that showed up in the sky.
No, it was like a ring of clouds.
Crazy.
Yes, it would. But it stayed in the sky for about 15 minutes, and then it just suddenly vanished, and so they don't know what caused it. Of course, people say, aliens, and they think maybe it could be they say maybe a factory ignition, but I've never seen a factory that blows smoke rings.
Smoke rings.
Yeah, but I mean, unless it was having a really good day.
It's like the grandpa factory beside the young factory. So I bet you can't do this.
They did try to say that it was a weather phenomenon called a thermal microburst, which I think is where like air
Let me see the picture.
goes down. Oh, picture.
Holy cow.
It's a big ring.
And that was just in the sky.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. You know what it looks like?
What does it look like?
It looks like one of those portals.
Maybe.
We've seen before, like over Norway.
Yeah, but most of the times you see those at night, and they're like really bright and like
Well, that's
spinning.
daytime. You've never seen one at the daytime.
I know. But
Maybe at the daytime, it's a big black ring.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it's a less impressive alien race that only that comes through smoke rings. It might be the Native Americans of the aliens.
Maybe.
And they just use smoke. They don't have the lasers. I don't know. It's very cool, though.
You know what? Everybody has theories, right?
They do. Everybody has theories.
Doesn't mean they're bad. All right. Let's move on. Okay. That was a quick page turn. Okay. So I saw this story. I thought this was really cool. From Scotland. It was in a Scotland paper or something like that. So, I mean, it's not like breaking news, but it's just something cool that someone's going to do. It's some paranormal experts.
It worries me how much you're putting in before this story.
Oh, no. I was just saying, there's some paranormal, it says paranormal experts, but that means people that investigate the paranormal in Scotland somewhere. They're going to the Royal...
I'd say you're born a paranormal expert in Scotland, wouldn't you think?
No,
maybe not as much as Ireland.
They're going to the Royal Botanical Garden, and they're going to try and hunt for fairies and other elements. Yes, I knew you'd like that story.
That's awesome.
The reason that they're going to do this is because there was a man named Robert Ogilvie Crombie, and he wrote a book called The Gentleman and the Fawn. And them going to this garden is like the 40th anniversary of his death. But he wrote about all these experiences he had there with,
the Fae.
Yes, pretty much. And it was like elves, fawns, and he said, I think he even claimed to see a centaur there. So he was one of those people that's just really in tune.
No, we can't go see the centaur.
Really in tune with, that dimension, that world or whatever. And so they're going to go and it doesn't say what they're going to do, what they plan on doing, but they just plan on trying to see if they can contact whatever it was he saw there. But I thought it was pretty cool because it's actually the Royal Botanic Garden, so they must have had to get some kind of really good permission to get in there and be there at night and whatever.
And being that it's the Royal, it probably is like all the fairy woods.
Right, it's in Edinburgh.
That's very cool.
So
I would rather do it in Ireland. That's
Right.
But that's awesome. It's cool that they actually care enough to say they're looking for that, because that's one of the lost arts of the United States. Is you talk about fairies around here and they put you in a padded room. And unfortunately, unless you got the right click, but it's, it's the ancient ones, not enough respect given. Go read a book, kids. Is stuff that was around a long time before us, and it'll be here after us.
Well, what's really cool about this story about this man, the Robert Crombie, he was actually a scientist.
Why does he sound like a nice shirt?
Because you think of Abercrombie.
Oh.
But
it's like the Scottish off-brand. Like
just Crombie.
Like if you go in Plaid Mart over there, it's like...
Plaid Mart.
He's just like, I love my Robert Crombie.
We need somebody from Scotland now for John to apologize to.
No, I wonder if the Robert Crombie's made for like having the gut, like the drinking gut. And no, that's Ireland. The Irish are the drunks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool to me. Fighting,
Scotland's
drinking.
like the bagpipes.
Yeah.
And the kilts.
Right.
Yes.
We're not stereotypical people at all.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm a stereotypist.
Anyway, I thought it was cool that he was actually a scientist. And scientists aren't usually open-minded enough for...
anything?
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he actually... he abandoned his career in science. It says because of his ill health, but I dare say that learning these other things probably really
if I could be there, if somebody said, hey, what would you like to do every day the rest of your life? I want to be there when people's paradigms are shifted. Mm-hmm. I want to be there when people find out certain things aren't real, aren't going to happen, are real, you know, have happened for a long time. I want to be there when these skeptics, if you will,
yes,
are put to the test. That would be.
It's
very
always
cool.
fun to see a skeptic get the bejesus scared out of them.
Yeah, and they're always the first ones. If you, on a paranormal investigation, say you have your, you know, it's so much like high school because you got to have your certain people. You have your guy who's been doing it a long time. You have your girl that's kind of a whore, but she's on the team and she really, brings
a new guy with her every time.
Yeah, she's just trying to sleep with everybody. You got, I mean, it's just everybody has a role. And the one cool thing is the skeptic guy. I love the skeptic guy because the skeptic guy or skeptic girl is always the first one. Because beforehand they'll be like, yeah.
I've never seen anything. Nothing's ever happened
and
to
you're
me.
hearing about the activity from somebody, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry."
It's probably the wind.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, it was probably an animal.
I was playing. I was playing Flappy Bird or whatever, you know. And as soon as the investigation starts and we go lights out, it's always that person. Like we'll be sitting there. I'll be like, "Well, we're going to do an EVP session. All right. So just we got to be quiet. Tag anything. You know, if you fart or whatever, just let me know. You know." And we'll sit there and it'll be like, I'd like to make contact to any spirit or spirits that's in this location. What is your name? You know, and we'll be sitting there, and there's always the first person to go, "Hey, did you hear that? Did you hear something? I mean, did you hear over there?
Look at the time.
Did you hear that? I thought I heard. I think it said my name. It's always that person that hears everything, gets touched, gets their hair pulled, leaves at 10 o'clock. Yeah. I love skeptics. Anyway, continue.
Anyway, well, that was pretty much. You can still actually order this book because I think they reprinted it recently. So I think I might actually try and get a copy of that book.
Very cool.
Be interesting.
I hope you have better luck getting that than you did the Yeti Air.
You can't buy that online. I can't find it anywhere. Not even eBay. I thought somebody would be selling it on eBay. If somebody has Yeti Air, put it on for sale on eBay. I will buy it.
A few weeks back, we did a story on canned Yeti Air from an authentic Yeti cave. And it has all the Japanese coloring on it because it's like one of those China cans. We got to have it.
Yes.
And just please contact us.
We will spend the money on it.
Yeah,
we will be those people that buy the can of air.
Yeah, we're going to do an unboxing episode special where we unbox the Yeti can. And we're going to release it in Avon Studios and see what happens.
Oh boy, everybody be writing their names on the wall of shame then, won't they?
Yeah. Man, I hope the Yeti Air. Oh yeah, it's supposed to make you more like woo. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
That's the reason you buy it.
Oh.
Because it makes you like.
I wish you hadn't said buy 2 cans, because there's no way our producer's going to let me open that one. It's going to be him. Be like, what's this for? Lock the doors. That is home. Yeah. So, wall of shame.
As long as we don't let Dax get a hold of it, that dog's out of control already.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, when can we be expecting that next litter?
All right, let's move on. Okay, so this next article that I found is about your favorite thing, skeptics.
Oh, good segue.
And that's
Except
actually
there was something else in
they
between.
call themselves a skeptical paranormal investigation group. But what they really are just people that are trying, they want people that have abilities to send them an application, and then they want to bring you in and test your abilities in a laboratory-like situation.
Well, see, I don't mind that if it's people who actually have an open mind. You know?
Well, they do. I mean, they actually offer, this particular article is specifically about UFO passengers, people that claim that they've been taken on a UFO, and they want people to come in and show proof.
Wow.
Yeah, well, they do have an application process, which is probably really smart. Dude, but if you go to their website...
I really want to go show proof. Just drop your pants.
If they actually have a website, and if you go there, you can send an application in for any kind of ability, supernatural power, whatever. And if they agree to test you, they'll bring you in, they'll test you, and if you prove that you have this power, they'll actually pay you. This one says $100,000.
Really?
And then they publish it publicly, like their findings or whatever. And because I went to their website and I was looking, and they actually have past cases where people have said that they could do things. Like there was one I read where this guy said that he could tell what was in an envelope or something without looking, and so they agreed that they would put pictures in envelopes, and he could tell them what it is before they opened it. He even got to pick the pictures. They were like, send us some pictures you want to use for the experiment or whatever. And so they put the pictures in the envelopes or whatever, and then he went in and he did his thing. And but they concluded that mathematically he guessed about as many times as anybody else would have guessed correctly. He didn't show any kind of ability
Especially using
to
his own pictures.
Yeah, to pick it. Like he got to, like they didn't just spring something
never
on him,
done that.
which I thought that was kind of cool. Like they didn't just spring a bunch of stuff on him he'd never seen
they
before.
Should have. I mean, if he says he has that ability, then
Well, I mean, they go through several steps or whatever. I don't know, but I'll put a link up for the website so you guys can look at it. And if you are somebody that has proof that you've been taken up on a UFO, you can make $100,000. I don't know.
I mean, it's cool.
I know
like,
that
it's like low rent James Randi.
Well, it's funny because on their website, I think it says somewhere that if you are a psychic and you pass their test, that you're automatically put into the James Randi thing. So they have something to do with that, I guess. I don't know. I don't know much about that, the James Randi thing. Like,
That's the guy I would like to get abducted. Like, we need to put hashtag abduct Randy.
We're going to have a lot of hashtags to abduct people, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, that would be, because if you, I know he's against this, he's like about the psychic stuff, and but man, it would be fun. That would be good, because he'd come back up a whole paradigm shift, like we were talking. Very cool.
Well, this place is actually in Los Angeles, and the guy that started it just decided one day, there's all these people in here that say they can do this, and he thought, he's like, I'm not going to say you can't, but let's just test it and, see that you can.
Right.
So, and I mean, they are offering compensation, so I guess it's not like, they're not being hateful about it. They're not saying we don't think you can't do it. We just want you to prove that you can. So I don't know. It's interesting.
I wonder if, just being able to communicate with spirits and using like an EVP, like using a recorder, like you tell them what's going to be on that recorder, and then you play it back, and I wonder if they would consider that scientific.
I don't know. I think they come up with the experiment. Like they talk amongst themselves and decide what kind of experiment would be best. But I think if you went to a room with them and told them all what they were thinking, they would have to admit that was something.
I could just walk in there and you'd be like, I could tell and be like, you're thinking bald and sexy.
I'm not sure they would admit to that, but yeah.
You don't have to. Go ahead.
Okay, so this next story is a little bit funny.
You're a little bit funny.
It's interesting. I don't know. Okay, so
a little bit interesting.
There's this website. It's a little crazy, and it's it's for this thing called the Raelian movement. I think that's how you say it, which is this movement where, I mean, I'm just going to say cult. I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't know. It has to do with UFOs and people thinking that, about the aliens coming. And I mean, there's a lot more to it than that, but it's like almost like a religion for these people.
Right.
Okay. But what they've done is they have filed an official request with the White House and the UN. So I messed one up. I thought I was going to go the whole show.
I thought they filed an official request.
They could have.
It's different.
It depends who you ask.
It's on the next office down.
So the representatives of the International Raelian Movement, they handed in a request. They want to build an embassy to welcome extraterrestrials to Earth. And they asked for 5 square acres of land. Let me try and get through this. 5 square kilometers of land to construct an embassy, plus full extraterritoriality, I can't even say that, extraterritoriality rights for it in the host country, and a no-fly zone around it, so that ETs can come to Earth
and they want to be
and
able
check in the embassy
and be able not to get like a DUI, like if they're in that country.
I guess.
No, I got you.
And they would have like demonstrations and publicity events and stuff like that. And they didn't file this with just the United States. They want these in like every country.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? That's an embassy I'll work for.
And he said, they even said that the U.S. government and all other governments around the world know that an extraterrestrial civilization has been making itself known for a long time. And it says by allowing so many of their UFOs and crop circles to be observed and documented, they've been preparing humanity for open contact. And it's time to acknowledge that and build a building where they can just come and maybe send a representative, and there it is.
Wow. Did this come out of like Washington State or
No, I don't know. This
Denver maybe?
No. This is a story that I got picked up from
there was
from a newswire
there was
in
a room
the
full
UK.
of people sitting around, and they're just like
It says that they're
You know what would be cool? Do you know what would be cool? Why don't we make an embassy?
What was I talking about?
Yeah, anyway.
You didn't pass. What's wrong with you?
pass, give, mother. Yeah.
Anyway, so back on April 2nd, supposedly they had a press conference in New York City where they had like a scale model and, you know, told all about it, did like a whole press conference of it, and that they actually had a conference like that in Peru back in February. And the guy doing this little article, the interviewing for this article, said that in Peru that a UFO was seen hovering over the area during the event of the press conference in Peru.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Hey, Peru's all open
story
about it, man. The Peruvian government was the ones who like came out and went against what the CIA told them not to say, and they were just like, yeah, you know, we're Peru. I mean, what are you gonna do? Make us Peru? You know? So they just came out with everything they knew about. It was pretty cool.
Well, I want to. I'm going to try and see if I can't find pictures of maybe the scale model now that they've done this press conference, because it's past the time that they were supposed to have done this press conference. And you can actually, I'll put a link up for the Raylan Movement's website. You got to check this website out.
I'm going to join it.
You should check it out. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But I thought you'd like that story.
I do like it. We should have embassies.
Okay, so I got a couple more stories here to go over.
I'll let you get through.
Okay. Were you going to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. So there was one that we shared, I guess, on Third Side. You shared it, and I'm sure you made a snarky comment maybe or something funny. I don't know. But it's the one about the Mexican funeral for the woman and all the stray dogs showed up at her funeral, which is actually kind of sweet. And creepy.
Mexico, though. I mean, wouldn't
or they're just dogs all the time.
Couldn't there be stray dogs show up at anybody's funeral?
Apparently this is a woman that fed all the strays that came around her house. We don't know anything about that. I certainly don't do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she just, all the animals that showed up, she just fed them. And, she lived by herself. She's an old lady. And after she died, and the family gathered at the funeral home, a bunch of the homeless dogs that she had fed actually came to the funeral home. And there's a picture of them laying down in the funeral home where the coffin was and, all the people were. And they just let them in. They didn't know anything, who the dogs were or anything, but they just let them in. And I guess the dogs were there to pay their last respects, or she had dog treats in her pocket, or I don't know what was going on.
So hold on. Just hold on. Mm-hmm. So these freaking stray dogs show up at the funeral home.
Yeah.
The place of business. Mm-hmm. And they're just like,
come on in.
Hey, buddy. Hey. No, we got a funeral going on right now. Yeah, come on in. Come on. That's just some of your friends. Oh, they can come in too. It's just a funeral. I'm sure the family won't mind. Hey, family. There's some stray dogs show up.
If you look at the picture, it's not like a real super fancy funeral home.
I don't care how fancy the funeral home is. You let some bloody-ass stray dogs come into my funeral and be upset.
It said that
what kind of place is this?
It said the dogs even followed the woman's casket as it was driven in a hearse. So I really, really think she had meat in her pocket or something.
She is meat at this point.
Something that she fed them, or she had a certain smell. I don't know. But yeah, I've never heard of dogs doing that. But it's sweet, I guess.
Like I said previously, when I originally posted that, thank God it wasn't cats, because there'd be no body left. Cats are evil, venomous.
Not all cats are like that.
I'm sorry. The cats would have ate the old lady. They would have. And then they would have hid all evidence of it ever happening. Seriously.
Nobody ever find her body.
They're devious. They're devious.
They're thugs.
They are.
Cats are thugs.
Thug life. That's some good stuff.
Okay. So anyway, our last story, just kind of funny, not really paranormal, just interesting. Just interesting. It's a woman who claims that her family dog, was possessed by demons, so she stabbed it.
That's not funny at all.
Several times. It's not funny.
That's like the opposite of funny.
The dog lived. It's fine.
So that's funny?
It's funny that she thought it was possessed.
That's not funny either. It can be possessed.
No. Well, her name's Ashley Duty.
Well, Duty's funny. I'll give you that. Duty's funny. But the fact that Duty's dog was
The poor dog. She said that the demons were possessing her dog, and so she got a kitchen knife and just stabbed it a bunch of times, and they had to take it to the vet, and it made a full recovery, and she was totally high on bath salts.
Oh, was she?
Completely, yeah.
Oh.
Completely high on bath salts. So I don't think the dog was really possessed.
Sorry, Duty. I can't really protect you on that one.
I wonder what made her think that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Sometimes when we hear these stories, and we get a lot of these stories about they were possessed or they were possessed, you know,
You never know.
yeah, you don't know.
But then again, I would think that a cat would be possessed more than a dog. Don't you think?
I think cats throw the spells. I think they cast the spells. I hate cats. You had me outside at 4 a.m. last night.
There were kittens that mysteriously disappeared by this morning.
It's weird.
It is weird. They were, yeah, I would have brought them inside.
There were 6 of them.
Anyway.
You just got to live with her. I'm telling you.
I can't help it.
The vast amount of ravens around the house is also interesting. It's like living with Morticia Addams.
Okay, I'll take that as a compliment.
All right.
Okay.
It was intended as one.
Yes. Well, that's all of the news.
Well, thank you. You did very well.
Well, thank you.
You get a star.
Oh, good. Okay, so let's talk about a new TV show that's started that we watched an episode of already. It's The Haunting Australia.
Ah, yes.
The one with Rob Damaris.
Rob Damaris.
Yes. You want to tell the funny story about Rob? Tell the funny story about Rob Damaris.
2010 Scarefest, Louisville, Kentucky. We're there shilling out our DVD. It was a documentary, and we had our poster up and all this stuff, and we had our little like TV playing a loop of a commercial for our show.
We had like the EVP listening station.
EVP listening station, all this stuff, you know. And we have this little thing for the mailing list for the Haunted South. And our producer, our old producer, he didn't give a crap. I mean, about it.
He was not into the paranormal.
Not into paranormal
we'll just say
at
that.
all. Not into
paranormal.
He was into the money, but not the paranormal. And so in comes, you know, people are coming through, and before they could get a free DVD documentary that we had done, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
We made like 700 of those things and gave every single one of them away. It was ridiculous. And we were doing it while we were standing there.
Before you could give a free DVD, you had to sign our mailing list. Okay, so Rob Damaris comes up, and he had just wrapped up Ghost Hunters International, and I was like, "Hey man, what's up?" You know. And
I wasn't even at the booth at this point. I'm not sure what I was doing.
And so he's like staring at everything, you know, and he's like, "This is cool. This is really cool. Oh, hey." And he stands there watching a little bit of the show. And Wes is like getting upset because he's like not.
Wes has no idea at this point who he is.
Because he's not signed anything.
No idea.
And he's like, "Hey man, hey." He's like, "If you want a free DVD," and Rob's like, "Yeah, I'll take one. I'll take one." And Wes is like, "Cool, no problem. You need to sign our book here for our free mailing list." And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So he goes through that whole thing, and I'll be damned if he don't he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, we still have the list.
He like signs and everything, he gets the free DVD and goes on his way. I've met a lot of paranormal celebrities, whatever, you know, it's like, it's not even a thing for us. No, we don't ever think about it like that. But this was just so
He was
funny.
Really funny about it because he didn't say anything. And Wes was just going on
it was just so funny.
and on.
And I had to then explain to him, like, I was like, that guy has a show on the Sci-Fi Channel. But yeah, it's.
But thank God you made him sign our mailing list.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I don't know. It was funny.
But continue.
Anyway, so he's got this new show. It's called Haunting Australia.
Yes.
It's had a few episodes already. We've actually only had a chance to watch one because we just don't have any time.
It's a great show.
But it's really good. Yeah. We really enjoyed it.
It's a great show because you never know when carnival music's going to hit.
My favorite part is the narrator. I love
the guy's so serious.
The narrator.
He's got that serious... And then the cursed object. You know, I love it because he comes up with some really cool words.
I wonder who writes the words for him because some of the things he said were just brilliant.
I don't know, but it was
very.
I mean, you got
lyrical and
you got like the Indian dude. That's cool. The Indian dude who's not a doctor. You got like the
you got people from England, you got people from Australia. You've got people from.
But the cool thing
India,
about it, because this show was not made in this crappy place in the States, they didn't have to follow a certain formula, it looks like, and they actually brought mediums.
That's part of the team.
And psychics, and that's really the big part of the team. And a lot of times when you watch shows from overseas, they understand that that's the people who should probably be looking for the spirits.
Well, I thought it was interesting because they would do like one medium with a not medium. I'll say a regular person, but that just sounded mean. Like maybe a medium's not a regular person.
And a large.
But you know, then you'd have the one person trying to get the actual evidence, but you had the medium there saying, which is something that we actually do.
We talked about, we've talked about that a million times. And that's how we like to do our investigations. Is we try to put the metaphysical with the scientific, and we not really mix them till the end. You know, when we're doing the evidence, we use this to back up what this feeling was. And it was like, and a lot of teams do that. I'm not saying but we do it like by rule.
Yeah,
you gotta have
we use the feelings to figure out where to investigate, and then after we investigate, we try to get the evidence to back up.
To, verify what was happening. It's really, but that's kind of what they do on the show. Give it a try. It's not called Haunting Australia any longer. They've just changed it to Haunting because it's the Sci-Fi Channel. Yeah,
we had it set on our DVR to tape, and then it didn't tape because the name of it was changed. And if you look at it, it aired in Australia, I guess,
a year ago.
Yeah, so it looks like it's an older show, but it's new for us here.
Yes.
So, but it's definitely something you should check out. It was a pretty good show. I mean, I really liked it.
I mean, it's no Ghost Stalkers.
Interesting, no, of course not.
But it's a good show. And that's one of our jobs is to let you guys know what to watch and what not to. And in the meantime, we'll be forcing ourselves through every terrible hour of most of the stuff that comes along. Some of them I'm not going to watch.
Some of them I just can't.
Some of them I'm not going to watch.
Can't bring myself to.
No.
I'm not saying they're not good. I just
hillbilly ghost hunting. I'm not going to watch.
Pique my interest. We live around that.
We should make the show where the meth addicts hunt ghosts. That's
they'd see stuff every week.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? We'd be like,
did you hear that?
I got
We're
it.
not even in the building yet.
Ghost crankers. And you could they get all cranked up, man, and they'd be like, nah. And they just go out, and it's like some chick that used to be hot, And you can start out and be like
scratching.
Yeah.
No, that's me scratching on the recording.
Sorry, that was my ear. Damn it.
Oh God.
That'd be really cool.
I think you've hit on $1 million idea there.
Yeah. You never know.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's all we had for TV time today. So
ghost cookers. Yeah, ghost cookers. That'd be kind of cool.
You should just stop.
All right.
Okay.
And all the crank and meth aside, I still think it's a good idea. I mean, because you got to put everything
I'm
together.
sure it'll be made. We'll see it on I don't know, Discovery, whatever the 15th Discovery Channel is.
Even if you went on a Southern thing and went, Southern cooking, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think the right people would watch that show.
Probably not. ThirdSideParanormal.com. That's your destination to find out everything you ever wanted to know about meth and some things you didn't. You'll have to just put a link up.
Okay.
Especially seeing ghosts while you're on bath salts or
meth.com.
Possessed demons or whatever. Facebook.com/ThirdSide. Up to the minute news, releases, cool little tidbits especially. I love tidbits. Twitter @3SidePara. That's the number 3. SidePara. And as always, please hit subscribe on the YouTube, on iTunes. Just leave us a review. Just a simple review, by the love of God. For my lovely wife, Stacey, my name's John Edwards. So long from the third side.
Good night.